Hi everybody, Russell the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. If you're new and give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. All that good stuff. Deflated. And firstly, happy Friday. Happy Friday. And happy Friday to anyone in the UK, because you get a long weekend because it's Bank Holiday Monday. So that's something to be grateful for. Deflated. I think that is that the right way? It's weird. I don't want to be one of those fans. I don't want to be like, I don't want to be like Tottenham fans or anything like that. But I feel really flat. Obviously we had all the light show. We had everyone buzzing. We had, all the fireworks and Tony giving his, all that stuff. And then, but hey you go, and I think the most overused phrase in the next week is going to be, it's only half time, but it really is only half time. And you look back at this season, look back at when we played Sevilla, we were 1-0 down and then took us back to our gaff and we took them over. Lyon was 1-1 and we had an incredible game there. So it's doable, isn't it? It's doable. I think it really, really is, and I think we've. I still fancy us. I liken it to a. I liken it to a boxer. That's the way I see Moyes is treating this. That first leg in all three of the games we've played this season, all three of the ties rather. That first leg is like the opening rounds. Just trying the jab, just having a look, seeing what's happening, and then the second half of the match is right. It's how can we knock them out, and I think, and to be fair play to Frankfurt, I mean we said it yesterday, they're no mugs at all. They are, they've knocked out Real Betis, they've knocked out Barcelona, they're undefeated in their group with the likes of, I think, Fenerbahce, Olympiacos, good teams. 2018-19 when they got to the semis, they knocked out Inter Milan, Benfica, Shakhtar Donetsk. They're no mugs. They're no mugs at all. And fine margins, we would have won that game, wouldn't we? Fine margins, arguably we would have won that game. We've had Bowen hit the that was it. Was it goal post? Oh dear. Bowen hit the post in the first half. It could have gone in. 9 times out of 10 he would have scored that goal. And then Benrahma hit the post as well with his shot. Bowen at the end with that incredible bicycle kick. All could any of them, if 2 of them gone in, if 1 of them gone in, it would have been 2, it would be totally different. So, yes, it's frustrating, but as I said, we've got through a lot worse. And then, again, Perspective Pete, Butler Mask, 2 years ago, we were just outside the relegation on goal difference. And now I'm quibbling because we're 2-1 down in the first leg of the Europa League semi-final. Ain't bad. It ain't bad, my friends. It ain't bad. Let's see what we've got in the chat. Afternoon, frustrating night last night. A lot of half, not much result. You're totally right. That's a really good way to describe it. Definitely. Toby's in. Hope you're well, Toby. Happy Hammerettes. Anticlimax will play better their ground, I'm sure. I think we will as well. And by the sounds of it, I think someone said they've won 5 in 19 at home this year in all competitions, and or something like that. Something I don't know, I wasn't being paying much attention at the time, but I wish I had. And apparently their fans get on their backs quite a bit if they're not playing well. Who does that sound like? So we'll see. Happy Hammerette, thanks for the pick. Yeah, it's Happy Hammerette. I saw on the OB feed, so I took a quick picture and sent it to him. Afternoon, Luke. Patrick says it's not half time. Thank you. Toby, could have been so much different, but I've got faith, no chatting because I'm working, but I'm all ears. Good man, good man. Keith, forget their league position. Frankfurt a really good side, better than any sides we've played so far. Sevilla. I think Sevilla are a better side. On paper, I think they're second in La Liga. And I know we're looking at, even Leon aren't no mugs in League O either, usually. But this year they haven't had a good season. Frankfurt haven't had a good season either. So we'll see. They did a number on us, but we need to be clinical over there, which is our biggest issue. It is indeed. Wally, hope you're well, my friend. Good morning to you, sir. Wally's having his breakfast. Listen to us. We basically started that game 1-0 down. We'll be the same next week. We got this. Yeah, exactly. We started it like literally 1-0 down. You're totally right. 50 seconds in. I barely had time for my wee. Greatest goal we never scored, Bowen. Yeah, you're right. Could you imagine if that had gone in? I think it'd have been amazing. Still in the game, we've had chances, but silly mistakes cost us. We can beat them in Germany. Just need the better final ballad. Cut the mistakes out. Yeah, and I think so. And I think Moyes will now sort of see how we compete with the likes of Frankfurt, for the second leg. And we'll set up a game plan to try and counterbalance them in the same way he did against Lyon, in the same way he did against Sevilla. This is the two-legged affair. As long as you're not out of the tie, you look at Rangers as well. Like Rangers are 1-0 up, 1-0 down rather against Leipzig. They can go to Ibrox and early goal makes the difference. If we got an early goal on next week, it's all to play for. All to play for. As James says, we are still mahoosive indeed. 2 up, 2 down hammers, afternoon hammers, hope you well. And obviously, it was great because obviously I managed to, at the end, we didn't do a reaction thing because we sort of like, everyone was a bit, don't know if we really wanted to talk about it so much, but we'll dissect it a little bit now. But I bumped into Anton, saw little Freddie, saw Jim. Walked with them back to the car park, and then I bumped into Frankel, and then Rebecca, which was nice, and then Tom Atherton and Duke. I saved Duke's bacon at the stadium. You won't remember though. So yeah, it was nice to see lots of people as well. We saw some regular faces, which was nice. And I tell you what, I had the pleasure in the first half. I might not put the sound on actually. I had the pleasure the first half. Oh, I put the sound on anyway. There we go. There's me celebrating. There's Tony. He's the DJ. Tony Parry. I love Tony. And look, he's behind me. Ray bloody Stewart. I watched the first half behind with Ray Stewart behind me. So that was quite fun. And you could tell how excited I was by the reaction. Yeah. Yes. Good old Ray. He was funny. He was really, really funny. I loved Ray. Friend of the show. And he saw Anton as well, so we was chatting about Anton and stuff, which was great to see. And so, yeah, it was what could have been. It could have been a lovely, lovely day if that would have been finished. We sort of 2-2, or I was taking a 3-2, or yeah, it's frustrating. But hey ho, we move on. Christ, we've been through a lot worse, innit? It's not losing to Burnley, is it? It's not losing to Norwich. No disrespect to Norwich or these. It's losing in the first leg of the semi-finals of the Europa League. And when we do Hammer's headlines tonight, we've got some stuff, some positive post-match interviews from the likes of Mikel Antonio and Thomas Souček and David Moyes, and just a bit about the money involved as well. If we can turn over this 2-1 deficit in Frankfurt and qualify for this finals and maybe beat whoever it is, Leipzig or Rangers, how much, what would we earn as a club? Because obviously we'd qualify for the Champions League. Obviously we'd have the Super League as well. We'd get to, and with that in mind, and obviously, it's a balancing act now because obviously we've got Sunday coming up now, haven't we? Arsenal at Sunday at home. Like, I've only got 2 home games left now. Arsenal and Man City, and the Man City game will be different because we'll know if we're in the final or not. But obviously, what does Moyes do on Sunday as well? What does he do on Sunday? I don't know. I don't know what he does on Sunday because I for me, having done this gig for a little while, 21 years or over 22 years. I think the fan base is going to be a bit flat on Sunday. I think the audience, not the audience, I think the crowd's going to be a bit flat on Sunday. And Moyes showed his hand in the Chelsea game that he was going to rest the likes of Bowen and Rice and Antonio, and I don't think anyone saw the benefit. I really didn't see the benefit of Bowen. I thought Antonio was there when he looked fresher, but even that wasn't. And what does he do on Sunday? It's Arsenal. It's at home. The Chelsea game's a bit easier, I think, because we was away rather than having 50,000 odd fans there on Sunday. Does he? Obviously, we'll have no Craig Dawson as well. So what do we do? What do we do? Do we do? Personally, do you know what I would do? He won't do it, but I would put out almost like a team of kids. Honestly, I would almost put out a team of kids because just that youth enthusiasm. I remember when we played Dinamo Zagreb and we did the same thing and we lost, but it was everyone was like really energized by seeing all the kids play. But then the flip side is, if we lose on Thursday, we need to make sure we're qualifying for Europe in some, just because we need to be qualifying for Europe now, I think, as many times as possible. So you don't want it to be a situation where, you put out a team of kids and it's like that bloody Nottingham Forest game when Allardyce did it and they lost 5-0, whatever it was. So it's going to be a really hard balancing act, I think. I just seen Jazz's thing, a mixed team, I think. I think it's going to have to be a mixed team. It's going to have to be, isn't it? I think you're going to have to get, they say, I wouldn't risk Zouma. He went down a couple of times yesterday and I was like, oh, balls. I wouldn't necessarily risk Bowen. I'd love to see him. Have a go at them, but we'll see. Afternoon, Russ. I think Greg gutted we didn't get a lead yesterday, but we go again. Thought about that Bowen. Outrageous, wasn't it? Acid had a bit of social media banter. They think they've won it and got revenge for us not letting them take over the stadium. They did put up a good do you know what they did? And fair play. Big fan of the flags. Now I know. It was them to get the flags in, and there's lots of boxes to be ticked. But fair play, I thought the flags were great, and they didn't take over the gaff. But what they did do in block 204, there's a big. There must be corporates or something like that there. But there was a massive group of them there. But they didn't take over the stadium like they thought we were going to take over the stadium. But I think apart from the block in 203, which I think was corporate. Or I don't know, hospitality or something like that. I think there didn't seem to be many pockets around the ground. You may well have been there and seen a few, but they didn't take over the ground at all. I thought they were fair play. They was they made themselves heard, and that's what you want. You want this sort of like rivalry. You want this singing. You want this banter. They were singing and we were singing, and that's great. That's exactly what you want. But we'll see what happens in the next half. Obviously, we had is it Sir Knott on the show yesterday? He kept on. He was a Frankfurt fan dropping in, and we had a bit of banter with him, which was good. I'm a little worried, unlike most others. Leon Howes had the defensive issues to grind out a draw, even if they're on the back foot. I think it was basically two poor defences playing each other. I didn't think we played very well defensively. I don't think they played very well defensively as well. And I think there's definitely room to get them. Although next game, don't forget they'll have Ndika back and they'll have Jakic, both available. If they play, who knows? But they'll both be available. Paul's always on the down. So there we go. What will you not spend? Well, we'll see, mate. It really pains me to say it, but Zizi was. Frankfurt have been better on the road if you look at their results in Europe. Exactly. So home pressure as well because they've got the lead to take as well to lose. We're clutching all these different straws. I appreciate it, but again, we're new to this situation. I'm new to being in this situation as well. So, trying to think of lots of positives. You know me, I'm a glass half full type of guy. Thought this game really needs some pace in the wing. I totally agree. Going 1-0 in 50 seconds was the gut punch for me. We're half a yard short in clinical finishing. I think that's sort of we lack when we talk about lack about finishing up front. That's basically the subtitle to our season, really, isn't it? what could have been. Mixed team for me, indeed. Yardy, Russ, what's up? Let's be positive. Last night was tough. We still have a chance, not over, indeed. Paul again, I think it's all over. It is now. No chance. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, forever. If we score first on Thursday, we will have every chance. Exactly. The early goal. An early goal. They can do it. Why can't we do it? Out the blocks. Out the blocks. Go. In it. 2 up front. Bosh. That's what I would do. Bowen and Antonio up front. Give Lanzini another go in the middle. And just go for it. I'm a little worried. We've done that one. Afternoon, Jeff. Moy said Zouma wouldn't play against Arse. Please give a less a chance. I think he'll have to, Jeff. I think he will have to. I'll be looking to sign a few of their players, and the sun was impressed with them. But as poor as we were created, so this is still it. No, you're right. And I think the right wing back, the guy who scored, I want to say McAnuff, but he's not Joey McAnuff. McAnuff, or is he was good. I thought he was very good. And Kostic, I know we've been talking about Kostic before. He was good. I thought their wingers were good. And Kameda, we spoke about Kameda quite a lot. I thought he was exceptional yesterday. And did what Souček used to do when he first signed. That drift into the box. But usually drifting in the box coming in from a cross rather than the ball on the floor. He just drifted in several times without being really picked out. And they love the crossfield ball as well. The crossfield cross, behind the back, behind 4 hours. We'll do a bit of a ratings in a minute. Daniela, bit disappointed result and had a flood at home. Double whammy. Oh, that's a shame. Hi Ian, hope you're well. Good luck second leg. Thank you very much as always. How many hammers do you think will travel over next week with guys? I think a lot. I know Martin and John Ratomsky will be over there and they haven't got a ticket. But they'll be going, and we'll probably link up with them on the Wednesday evening. They'll be in a bar somewhere in Frankfurt. Thought Hinteregger was great for them. Seemed like we didn't know where the space was due to their formation. I think also we didn't see. We seemed to change because it first started like we starting with a back 4, then we went to a back 3. We started a back 3, then we went to a back 4, and I just don't think we really knew what we were doing as well. It seemed to be a bit interchangeable, and so did they a little bit, and I don't think we knew, as you said, where the space was. I mean, clearly the space. I mean, when Benrahma came on, fair play to Benny. We know he's a good player, and we'll talk about him in a minute, but I thought he turned up ready to play. He turned up wanting to make a difference, and looked really sharp, I thought. Ladders came home early from my halls to go to the game. We looked tired and the goals were sloppy. How many times we hit the bloody bar and cross? I mean, yeah, exactly. Shows how poor Kral is. Souček is undroppable regardless of... Yeah, no, you're right, mate. Lanzini's your guy, but Thursday I might drop him for Benrahma. Diamond shape, Souček and Rice. And yep, potentially. There he is, Sanuk. There he goes, Sanuk. Well done, son. Well done. Everywhere, there you go. Fair play to you, mate. Fair play. Thanks for joining us. Their first goal, what happened there? It was entirely, it was entirely Fornals' fault. Still can't work it out. Took the wind out, burst our bowls. I mean, yes. The first goal was Fornals' fault. He lost his runner behind him. And in the second half, they did almost exactly the same thing. You thought he would have learned from the first half, but that was clearly a game plan in the fact that Fornals, although he's having a great, when you put him at left wing back, he has a good go. He puts his heart in it, but he's not defensively minded. So he's looking that way rather than behind him, which is not, he's not that. Personally, maybe going into next game, if we're keeping that formation, I'd fancy putting Johnson there. Just for that, because I think, and then maybe Soufal on the right side. Now, Soufal will get done for pace with Kostic. That no problem at all. But I think, but then maybe we're acting too defensive. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If we beat them next week, it'll be big. Getting fed with it every time a result. Don't go away. We bottled it. It's a semi-final. It's meant to be hard. We're still in this. Exactly. No game rule. Exactly. Yeah. Fair play to Sir Nook. Good to see. I'm glad to see he came back after yesterday. I'm in my usual. I'm not outside. I'm inside today. Not clinical enough. The story of our season. That's basically like the movie. If they make a movie about this season, it's not clinical enough. So there we go. Feeling a bit deflated today. Yeah, well, Carino got off the afternoon. Come on, guys. This is no different from being 1-0 down against Sevilla, who were second in La Liga at the time. There we go. Do you want to know anything about the city of Frankfurt? So, look, we will do next week, man. Definitely. definitely. If because there'll be people going out there, maybe Monday or what? Yeah, maybe Monday. Come on the lunchtime show and just let us know good places to go for Frankfurt, and we'll put like a little selection down. Let us know some really good places to look, and that'd be cool. Thank you. Too many people too confident. Can't say in my team. That's what I mean. Good side. As I said, there are no mugs in Europe. There are no mugs in Europe. And I think sometimes it was Jazza or someone said, don't necessarily look at the league form. Same as Leon, don't look at their league form. Leon were the Champions League semi-finalists. Was it last season or season before as well? So, definitely, man. Definitely. I really appreciate it. Cheers, Sanook. Frankfurt are very consistent in league. We can go there and win, but I don't think they have lost again. They're undefeated in the Europa League. Fair play to them. That said, we need to create some good chances. You're totally right. Their fullback's not the best and can be beaten with pace. I think they can be beaten just by not necessarily pace, because I think actually their fullback, the one on the right, number 36, I thought was very strong. I thought he was a very good player, and he was giving Cresswell an absolute, just wouldn't stop him. Absolutely amazing he was. I think the result was the performance, not happening. The result, play that again, we will lose. Very well played. Your fans are very entertaining. They certainly were. Love a firework, don't they? Love a firework. Fornals was asleep for the first goal, and the second goal stood there, didn't move. Mental mistake, silly mistake. Because I think also with Zouma as well, he was doing a lot of stand it. He would stand still, and the forward would just run into him, and he was almost doing it all the time. So he just froze. It was really weird. Dennis really think we'd get to the semi-finals for me. All the pressure is on Frankfurt. They expect to be. Victor, I didn't think we were going to get in the group stages. When we first got into Europe, I thought we'll have a few, it's a thank you to the fans, a few nice away trips, that's it. Then we started to do really well, and then obviously we won, and then I thought, well, then we got Sevilla. I thought there's no chance we're going to beat Sevilla. They're like UEFA Cup, they're Europa League royalty, really. We've knocked them out. I thought Leon are a goodie, so every time it's like our expectations are creeping up. But, at the beginning of the season, maybe a 3 or 4, maybe in terms of how well we were going to do. Now I'm at an 8. So it's crept up as we've got for the games. But go back to the beginning, never thought we was probably going to get out of the group stages, to be honest. Green dropped Cresswell, put Johnson left back. Strangely, his crossing is better from the left than the right. Maybe because he cuts inside on his right foot, maybe. I don't know. That very, very early goal just frazzled our game plan, but I'm still confident we'll reach the final. We need the spirit of 1966 and the Russian linesman. There we go. That feels strange. Yes, we can bounce back, of course. Can we discuss how terrible our supply into the box was? Yes, indeed. Indeed. We'll talk about that. Yes, we'll talk about that. Hammer's headlines. That's one thing that David Moyes was quite open about. The crossing was very poor, and set plays were very poor yesterday. If it didn't not hit the first man, basically it was in Trapp's hands, really. So that needs to be described, that needs to be improved. And I think Moyes said it's probably the worst he's seen in the last couple of years at West Ham. So it just shows you. Only 11 nights. That's because we lost. So no, always happens. Give it a like if you a bit deflated. There you go. Was Soufal not fully fit to be on the bench? Seemed to get the ball. I think Johnson was the man. I mean, Johnson's played well, through this season when he offers something, and I think it's a pace thing as well. Kostic is a very, very fast player, and it's one thing Soufal can't defend against his pace. I've seen him get ripped by, was it Sarr at Watford a couple of years ago? I think it was Mane or Salah last year, ripped him. And that's one thing he's not. He's not quick. He isn't quick. So that's probably why they decided to do that, to be honest. Let's get Frankfurt's passing coaching to teach us to pass consistently. There we go. Got to be better in the final third. Don't know how many times we've said that. Yeah, exactly. We always say it. What I meant is being fed up with all this. We bottled crap. No, we didn't bottle. They just better time. Although, Daniel, sometimes I think we looked a little bit nervous. There was, particularly in the first half, balls coming across. Cresswell, normally he would have just cleared it, but he was second guessing himself. A few times that was evident, and that's to be expected. These guys, it's the biggest game in their professional club careers, really, for many of these players. And I think Frankfurt handled that pressure better. I think they did, but they're a good side as well. If we don't take our chances, you don't win matches. If we only cut the strikers in our squad to be top four. If we score first, if they score first, and it's Alvida saying Pet indeed was marking their two best players virtually in his own Landsy game. I totally agree. I think we all got hyped up. Of course we do. We're still in it. We're still in it. We still get hyped up. Frankfurt's home has been poor. Into West Ham. It's all set up for us to sweep them 3-1. I said the same thing to some of the ex players there. We've come in. There's a lot of parallels to the results with Frankfurt in '76. In all honesty, in that I think it was it Trevor on his interview yesterday was saying how they came away from the first leg thinking we were still in it. And then they came back and had that phenomenal game, that 3-1 that we all spoke about, and I think there's enough in this game. There's definitely enough in this game, man. Definitely. Our corners, I think our whole set plays are bloody awful. Are you cheating me into a like? You got it. There we go. You see. Don't ask, don't get. Don't ask, don't get. A team that beat really never going to be mincemeat. Indeed, Russ Johnson puts him very good cross. He was left peg on the right, tends to kick it straight into the opponents or cuts it back. There we go. Interesting. Loot Legends. Some fans are saying this. These fans outside the stadium and the other fans. Oh, there we go. Even if they score first, they still have faith in us. We looked nervous. I think we did. We did look a bit nervous. I think we did look a bit nervous at times, in my opinion. Right, let's go through some scores. Let's go for some ratings. So obviously, I give you my ratings. You give your ratings. I'll give you my assessment. Sometimes I match. Sometimes I don't match. I'm in a semi-generous mood today. I'll be honest. Let's start with Areola. To be honest, he made that save. It was a great save from, I want to say So. Was it So? Which then led to the Frankfurt second goal. He did a great save. I think, what his name, Knuth's header, he had nothing really to do with. Apart from that, not much else really, was he? He didn't even have much else to do. Yeah. It was distribution was okay, but he wasn't really called in to do much. What we got here? 6, 7, 7. You're joking. You always get my like. Here we go. 7, 7, 6, 6 or 7s. I gave him a 6. Did his job. That's it, really. There wasn't not really much to write home about. I thought he coped well with distribution. Was a lot better than usual for him, to be honest, as well. Sanook puts a 1 because he's a he's a Frankfurt fan. So yeah, there we go. Let's move on. Benny Boy Johnson. We spoke about him. I thought he struggled. I thought he struggled a bit defensively and in attacking as well. Really. He tried to get. He got particularly second half got forward a lot better. But I just thought he was up against a very good left wing back kind of thing. I don't really know if that's the position he played really, to be honest, but he's all over the place. But Kostic, I thought was very good. I thought he was a very, very good player, and I think he struggled. I think he did. I think it's a learning curve. I think he'll come back stronger for the next game if he's picked. But yeah, I think it wasn't a great game for him. 3, 4. What we got here? 5, 5. Better than Boris Johnson. There we go. So a 10 from Snook. There we go. 5. 5. His touch was awful. Play him on the left next time. Well, I think that's where Moyes sees him inevitably is Cresswell's replacement. 6, 6, 6, 6. I had him down for a 5. So similar to most people. Let's go on to talk about Ballon Dawson. Ballon Dawson. I thought again they were quite. They played a lot on the floor, didn't they? Really, in terms of sort of like there's all these 1-2s, and I think he struggled a little bit. To be honest, he's better when they've got a big target man, and he can just like just be Ballon Dawson really. Um, he did get a touch in the second half, wasn't it? Which all came off more luck than judgment off the back of his ankle on Kameda's shot, which went onto the post. But I thought he played okay. I thought he was again trying to get in the box all the time. Trying to, didn't dominate as much as he usually does, but I don't think he had a big centre forward for him to be up against. That's when he's best, and he can there's like a tussle. So we got a 6 from Ballon Dawson, 6, 5, 7, 6, didn't get sent off, indeed, and he'll have a rest for Thursday, don't forget, because he won't be playing Sunday. 7, 7, 6, I've gone for a 6. A 6. I thought, he played okay. Probably not as domineering as his best. Not as many sort of cross-field balls as he usually does as well. So they were hurrying him a little bit, centre-back wise, the attackers. Him and Diop, when they both had him and Zouma, he was a bit more. They were really trying to. Clearly, that was an area they were going to target as well. So we shall see. Right, let's go with Zouma. Obviously, didn't call it. None of us called it in terms of him playing the ultimate smoke and mirrors by David Moyes. Fair play, Moyesy. Him not appearing in the open training session with journalists the day before. Chef's kiss. Superb bit of gamesmanship from David Moyes there. If that was truly intended, fair play to him. I thought despite the fact he's been out, this injury, I didn't see the injury. I think a second half he went down, didn't he? On his ankle, and I thought he was going to be taken off, but he didn't. He carried on. And fair play to him. I thought he was doing a lot of this. As I said, he was defending without actually moving. He would stand there, and literally the striker forward would basically bounce into him. But there was a couple of times I think he switched off a little bit. The second goal particularly, but I thought he was almost back to his sort of not quite 100% to his imposing self, but I thought he played very, very well. Zouma 7, at least didn't get injured, or did he? No, I don't think he did. 7, Marcus is 5, 6, 6, 6, 2 up, 2 down. No half points in this game, I told you. Sharky said Zouma was like, well done. Seems to break down every game now. Yeah, he does get a knock quite often, but he gets back up again. Never going to keep him down. English Yardie 5, 7, 6, 7, Sanook 1. He always fouled Boré. No, Boré ran into him. No, yeah. And I thought the ref was quite good, actually. Although I would have had another look. I would have had a proper longer look at that VAR, but, anyway. Not fit. Yeah, he wasn't 100% fit. But, yeah, I thought he played okay. I put him down for 6. I thought he played all right. 6. Not spectacular. I think it would have been probably a 7 if he didn't fall asleep for that second goal. I think it's fair enough. Let's crack on. Let's go with Aaron Cresswell. Man with a magic hat. Made a fantastic tackle in the first half. Do you remember when Knuth was almost through on goal? And he managed to get back somehow and just get enough on the ball, which I thought was brilliant. Try to get forward a bit more. Second half particularly, tend to go down the left a lot more in the second half. But I just didn't think the crossing in general was very strong. What are we saying? The ref was fair. Cresswell 6, 3, 5, 4. No, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was Cresswell. But anyway, 6, 5, 6 needs to be moved out of team. There we go. 5. Plighted Spain for the first, in my opinion, but did put in a good tackle first half. I think I wouldn't blame him. I'd blame Fornals more for that, and I'd call him out. I love Fornals, but I'd call him out for that one. Wasn't on fire. No, 7. Did not do enough going forward past it. Well, I think then it's like, well, then you're playing centre back. You're playing the back three. Are you hanging around there, or you move? It seemed to be like the formation seemed to change quite a bit. I gave him a 6. Again, average game. I thought he had an average game. Tommy Souček, poor old Tommy Souček. I mean, he lost his runner. He didn't track Sol back, who then took the shot, and then who basically walked through the box, and obviously Areola saved the shot, and then obviously Kameda get the rebound. He had a good chance first half. There's a couple of times he got in for a decent header, and he just couldn't. It seems everyone's scoring boots have just been like lost in the last 3 or 4 months. Beginning of the season, Souček would have probably scored that. 3 months ago, Bowen would have like at least scored one of them 2 chances he had. But I just thought he just wasn't up to the races. I gave him a 6. Too slow, 4. 5, Sanuk 3, 6. No new contract for Souček until his form improves. Why is Mo Tech when Johnson is standing out? Exactly. But also to up to that. What really annoyed me about yesterday was it was always a pass too long. Just one, they used to do a couple of weeks ago. They're doing these raking crossfield passes to get the ball quickly to the other side, but it's not. It's going back to Zouma, then to Dawson, then to Rice, and then to Johnson, or maybe Dawson to Johnson. They can easily miss one of these steps out. Souček 5 missed one of the 3 decent chances. He looks leggy. I think if anyone needs a rest, it's him, not Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice will play to Declan Rice's state. Doesn't matter. Even if he's still knackered, he'll still be playing that level of intensity. But he looks leggy. I wouldn't play him on Sunday. I wouldn't. I'd give him a week off, and I think you'd see a massive difference on him. I don't think you saw a difference, apart from maybe Antonio yesterday, in terms of fitness levels, to be honest. Well, then again, you think about it, Rice ended up playing 30 minutes anyway, and I think Bowen played about 20 minutes in the Chelsea game. Souček 4, for God's sake, give him a rest, indeed. Souček 5, needs to stay back and break up play. How many times did we shoot and there's no power left or straight to the goalkeeper? Loads. I think there'll be about 5,000 at least, I think, to be honest, Ian. At least. Souček's a shadow of his earlier season form. Corners gone missing. Shooting in front of goal, wide. I mean, shooting was never his forte. It's never been his forte. That's why I never saw any worrying of him going to like a Barcelona or Bayern Munich. He hasn't got that sort of technical. He's not that type of player. What he is good at is drifting into the box, like Fellaini was, in all honesty, in my opinion. Drifting into the box and get his header on the ball from across. And he's not doing that anymore now. I think he's been found out a little bit. Or maybe it's the style of play we're playing with. We've changed it slightly. I don't know, but we need to get back to it. Forno has to learn about colours of colour. Yeah, exactly. Johnson is a championship right back. I disagree, B-man. But that's your opinion, so fair play. Has not had a break in 2 years. No, you're right, with the Euros and stuff, he hasn't. So, yeah, that's why he looks jaded. If we still have Souček when Rice gets sold, then he'll come good again. He needs to play where Rice is to get the best out of him. Maybe. He was very slow and nervy. I'm sure we can come back to return leg. Souček needs a Duff and a coleslaw voucher. I actually had potato salad for dinner yesterday in homage, but it didn't work. Mo, hope you're well. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Mohammed. Hope you're well. No doubt in my mind, told the boys about the ball over the top across field was caught lacking. Not good. We can correct our mental mistakes. Day 27 of Ramadan. Hope you're well, my friend. Good luck to you. We need to give Souček more potato salad. Not more, because he'll be more heavier down. Now watch us thump Arsenal 5-0, quite possibly. But that'd be good. because we need the fans behind us. So I think we need a strong performance, whether it's a mixed team, whether it is, and they're saying that Chelsea game, we came away at that Chelsea game. Yes, we lost, but we thought fair play to these boys. We've got like not a B team, but we had some players who wouldn't necessarily play. We were down to 10 men, and if we got a draw out of them, yeah, we did all right. So I agree. I'm the same. Declan Rice. Oh yeah, he played. I mean, with Declan Rice, what can you say about him? Really, to be honest, I thought he played really well. He was. If anything, I'd love to have him drive forward a little more with the ball, because no one seems to tackle him when he's got the ball. When he's driving forward, he seems to always make space. He seems to always make yards, and I'd love to see him just do that a lot more. But then obviously that's a detriment of maybe Souček and. But he was. I thought he was. Although I have a feeling him and Souček both missed the runner of Kamada coming into the box a little bit, which was But I thought he was. He's a great. He's a great player, really. Rice 7, 8, 7, 8. Some of his tackles were amazing. They were 7, 7s, 6, 8. Yeah, I saw Moyes' post-match. Yeah, it's quite blunt, but I think sometimes, and fair play to Moyes, he does call it how he sees it, and the frustrating thing is that the things that he has called out could have been rectified, but they weren't. But anyway. So I put Rice for 7. Obviously, if he'd scored or whatever, I think it'd be an 8 or 9. But I think 7 he had a good game. Wasn't my man of the match. I think that's coming in a minute. But I thought he had a good game, as he always does. Sam, why did you let them attack? I don't know. Ask Davy Moyes. Having been warned they've done this versus Barcelona, exactly. Sassamum. But I think it's, as I said, Moyes sees this as like the first few rounds of a boxing match. He's sort of just sussing out the opponent. He's done it for Seville. He did it at Lyon. Just understanding what they do. He'll have a game plan for Thursday. And we'll see what happens. Kamada will be shut down next week. Far too much room for Kamada. We've spoken about him. He scored a good goal on Sunday as well. And he almost scored, he'd had a really good shot in the second half as well, which went wide. That was one which took the deflection off Craig Dawson's heel. And he scored a very similar goal to that last week. So there we go. Lifetime ban, so he attacked the German. Apparently so. I felt sorry for him having to carry the poorish form of some of the players last night. Had Bowen's shot gone in, would have been goal of the season. I totally agree. Right, let's talk about Fornals. Elbowing. Obviously, he couldn't nap him. He tried hard, just didn't have that spark. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes when he's not there, you miss his spark. But even they played yesterday, there was no spark, and it's frustrating. I thought he was going to be substitute when I heard that Lanzini was not Lanzini. When I heard that when Benrahma was coming on, my first thought was, oh, he's going to take off Fornals. But he took off Lanzini, and that surprised me a little bit. But then you still had that industriousness of, I think if you'd taken him off, you'd miss his energy, which we sort of still needed as well. It's all like a double-edged sword. We've got 3. What do you think about Amara Toure? I thought he played all right when he came on. 4, 3, 4. Poor game work. He sort of should have come off. I thought he should have come off. I thought he should have been the sub instead of Benrahma, instead of Lanzini to come off. But because I think Lanzini wasn't having a great game, but he still has that ability to pass. He has still that technical ability to find a pass. Same with a lot of the team yesterday. Just the last ball. There was a couple of times in the second half where Barron had it and he just couldn't get the last ball away, or Fornals was trying to get it, or they were doing this little stupid back heel thing, which sometimes worked, sometimes didn't work. But anyway. Let's see, we got 5 from Ludders. That's not a lot. Needs to be central. Benrahma left if we go the same formation. 5. Let's hope Frankfurt think they've already won. Yeah, I think they'd be nervous for it. Was poor, just can't pass the ball yesterday. Fornals does a lot of the heavy lifting. He was quiet. First goal was down to him. We were warned. Game starts at first second, not 30 minutes in. Indeed, 5 from Jeff. I've gone for 5 as well, and I don't like doing it because I love Fornals as a player. But sometimes if we don't play well, we don't play well, and we try and be as honest as we can. It's a game by game thing. Let's talk about Manu quickly. Obviously, his free kick led to the Zouma header, which led to the goal, but didn't really make an impression in that sort of final third. I don't think anyone really. I mean, it was reasonably neat on the ball. He was trying to get the ball a bit more, but it just wasn't his day. I don't think. Just wasn't his day, and sometimes it happens. And usually we can carry 1 or 2 players who it's not their day for. But we had 2 or 3. I'm thinking, 4 I'm thinking himself, Lanzini, and Souček, the 3 of them. That's 2 too many. I can cope with 1, but when it's 3, you can't cope. I'd like to see Moyes experiment and put on Sunday rest. Put Krul. You could only imagine. Krul. Could you imagine if Alex Krul? He's going to get the biggest. If he's picked one day, he's going to get the biggest cheer in the world, isn't he? 3, very poor. 6, 5 from WHU 58, 4 from Acid, 5 from Sharky, little impact 6, Lanzini 4, anonymous attack wise. He did do. You're right. There's a couple of good tackles. There's one in the first half, which I was very surprised about because it was from him, and it was almost a perfect tackle. We were so predictable from a young lad. Johnson was poor. He appears to lack pace. Stood them off. They were quick on the break. They were quick on the break. In our best formation, a little quiet. Sanuk goes 8. There we go. Lost the ball a bit. 4. I've gone for a 6. No, 5. I've gone for a 5, not a 6. Jared Bowen. Do you know what? In a game which was like, after 50 seconds, it went flat, didn't it, for the crowd? Every time Bowen has it in that final third or in their box, it gets us going again. I thought he was really, there was some clever runs, some clever touches he made. He showed some strength, when he was taking the ball through. Obviously, incredibly the technique on that bicycle kick was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And that could have gone in. Should have scored in the first half, though. Should have scored. Again, it's fine margins. It's the width of a post, isn't it? But, he was in that situation. He was put in. And, I think everyone thought it was him. Because it was Bowen. He was unlucky. And he's starting to get back into his groove, isn't he? I think he needs a run of games now where he scores. And then he'll be back in his groove, to be honest. But I've gone with Bowen for a 8. Man of the match. Gave him a man of the match and an 8. What a player. 8. Really holding my tongue today. Who enjoyed us losing the customer. 7. Man of the match. Had good moments. 7. Bowen and 2 other chances hitting the post. Gives us hope. 7. Tribe wasn't his day. 8. 7. 9. Brightest spark going forward. Missed one, but his basic kick would have been good. Was just too it was almost too perfect, wasn't it? 7. Bowen loves his guy, needs some support. The expectation to score weighs heavily on his young shoulders, indeed. And he got a kick in the knackers as well. He got ball in the knackers, so Danny Roy wouldn't be happy with him tonight. Antonio obviously scored, which was great for his confidence. He's very, very positive about us in getting a result in Germany. We'll talk about that at 5 o'clock tonight. I thought he was standing up well to their centre backs. He was standing very well up against their centre backs. Set up the second half chance for Souček, which just couldn't do it. He benefited from not playing at the weekend, I think. I thought he played okay. Sometimes I was really frustrated with him, like always. Sometimes he plays as I think it's James or someone in the chat goes, it's 3 to 8 random number at 3 to 9, and that's basically it. 1 minute he's playing a 3, next minute he's playing a 9. So he sort of averaged that out with him. 3 from Michael. 7, good hold up play as usual. Always tries. Glad to see him score. 7. work hard 6, but 7 with goal. I gave him a 6. Gave him a 6 because he scored. To be honest, if he hadn't scored, I think Declan Rice would have scored behind him. He was in the right spot, but so was another 2 or 3 players. But it was just that next step, innit? It really frustrates me. You're right, he does give the ball away, particularly in the first half. He seemed really wasteful of the ball in the first half. Second half, a lot better, but in the first half, very wasteful. Not today, a 5. There we go, from James. There we go. Sanuk gave him a 2. I thought you'd have given him more than a 2, mate. And then let's talk about Benrahma. Because, we knock him when he doesn't play well. But I thought yesterday, he made a huge difference coming on. Huge difference. Straight away. When he came on, he was going to come on and he wanted to make an impact. He wanted to win this game. And that's the first time I think that I've generally thought that he was... No, that's wrong. That's wrong. I'm not going to say that. But he came out like he wanted to make a difference. And that lifted the crowd. And it's probably the best game I've seen him play. And he came on as a sub in the 66th minute or something like that. But I thought he came on and he definitely scared Frankfurt. And I think that could mean, I potentially start him on Thursday rather. Or maybe, as Tim said, maybe he's the perfect impact player. Maybe that's how you play him. You play him as an impact player. But you have to be an impact player ready to go 100 miles an hour from the minute. Because you haven't got half a game. You haven't got 20 minutes to get yourself into the game. You need to be ready and go. And he was that yesterday, I thought. I thought he was really, really good. I thought he was really unlucky. Obviously, fantastic shot. If that had gone in, it would have been amazing. But then 2 seconds later, he then blazes one which probably should have gone wide to Antonio rather than taking a shot. So you sort of have both sides. But I thought he came on. Again, he frustrates me when he tries these little back heels because sometimes they work great, sometimes they don't. And that's sort of what you get with Benrahma. I gave him a 7. I gave him a 7 because I thought he played well. I thought he played well when he came on. 7. Thought it was going to be Benny's games. Did well. Ballon Dawson, 7. Excellent, 8. Good for a change. Probably his best game for us. 6, 7. Not long enough for an 8. Livened everything up. He did. He livened. He was a shot in the arm. Weren't it when Benny came on? Made a difference, but I don't think he expected to shoot when he shoots here. Started well and faded. I don't rate Benrahma, but he caused them defensive problems. Give them something to think about. 7. No, exactly. So inconsistent but highly skillful player would benefit from being played every game. I think, personally, I don't think he fits in our system, in the system that Moyes plays, but there's no denying he's a good player. No denying it. And he'd probably easily go to another team who plays sort of a front 3 and be absolutely... that's how he made his name in Brentford, playing in the front 3. He'd do it in the Frankfurt side, the way they play. Or the way they used to play when they had Haller and Jovic and Kosic, as the 3. He'd have been perfect. But anyway, so I put him down for a 7 because I thought he played really, really well. I was very impressed with him yesterday. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, we'll be doing Hammers headlines at 5 o'clock tonight, which will be all the fallout from the game yesterday. And then I think we're probably doing I'm saying because I don't know where Anton is, probably the preview for the Arsenal game tomorrow. There may be a watch along on Sunday. Anton's obviously on that game and Anton's a bit big, but we'll try and do at least some highlights after the game, some pre-match, post-match views and stuff live from the stadium to get your thoughts of the people who went. But yeah, and then we start again next week. Start all again next week. And hopefully we get what we want. Hopefully we can get what we want. You can see why Haller was so good with them. You can definitely see, mate. You can definitely see. You definitely see how well him and Kosic would have played together. Do you have merchandise? We have a little bit. We're going to be doing a lot more. If you like, we do like there's like notebooks and stuff like that. If you search on Amazon, we do. If you search on Amazon for West Ham retro notebooks, we do a nice design of them. And we'll be doing some merch. We're going to start doing that next season. Trying to sort out the website and stuff as well. But anyway, so thanks, Dave. And also thank you to Dave as well, because he became a new member and I haven't changed the new members the video yet because I don't have time. But Dave became a new member yesterday, so thank you very much, Dave. Thank you. And if you want to become a new member, hit the join me button down there and become a member. We'll be doing the draw for the next month competition next week. It's the new month. And we have a signed Eintracht Frankfurt match day program from yesterday, signed by Keith Robson, who obviously scored in the original, and we've had him on the channel. So that'll be going to the whoever wins it this next month. And the Luxter, if the Luxter's in the house, please contact me because you won the signed West Ham shirt from last time. Thank you. All right, guys. So take care, everyone. Stay safe. Stay lucky. Stay cheeky. Have a lovely weekend. Have a kebab tonight. Kebab Friday in the Bun household. Looking forward to it already. I'd like to thank all of our channel members. Now Dave's not in yet, but he'll be on the next video. I'll make sure I do it today, so it's all sorted. But as well as Dave, all our other channel members. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Come on, you irons. Ciao, ciao, my friends.
It's like a family tree, part of you and part of me. And if we should separate,